We are back with a final exclusive bonus Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee video here on the channel. Over the course of the last couple of days, I've been uploading the first few parts of my Let's Play of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. This video is a bonus exclusive video. I was invited by the Pokemon Company International and Nintendo UK to Pokemon's offices and given 2-hour access to the very beginning of the brand new debut Nintendo Switch titles, as well as given exclusive, never before seen access to Route 6 in these games, as well as access to cooperative play for the very first time. This video is going to be me showcasing Route 6. I wasn't allowed into the underground section that takes you up to Cerulean City, and I wasn't allowed past the trainers at the bottom of Route 6 that gives you access to Vermilion City. I was just given free reign to Route 6, able to use a couple of items that I wasn't given access to earlier on in the game, stuff like the lure, which I will showcase a little bit later on. And here's me diving right in. I was playing with Lucy, aka Candy Eevee, so the gameplay is going to be centered around Lucy's character. She was player 1, I was player 2, so yeah, that's why the camera is centered in on that character right there. You can see me just poking my head out at the very bottom. The team is going to be drastically different from my team that I've been using in previous episodes because, yeah, it wasn't played on my demo copy, on my little copy. You can nickname your Pokemon through the party screen now, which is absolutely incredible. That's one of the quality of life features that's been added to Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. I think that is genuinely an amazing quality of life feature that hasn't really been spoken about too much on YouTube or just in general media. So we're going to be taking on pretty much every trainer here. There was quite a few brand new Pokemon on this route. Pokemon like Psyduck, Vulpix is now available, so if you're playing Let's Go Pikachu, as this part of the demo is played on Let's Go Eevee, I'm guessing Growlithe would appear here on Route 6, which is a little bit earlier on than it would traditionally appear in previous Kanto games, so that's quite cool. Growlithe or Vulpix appears here. Pidgeotto, Jigglypuff, Psyduck. I'm trying to remember every single Pokemon that appeared here. One brand new Pokemon that has never ever appeared this early on in the game, in fact has never appeared at all outside of the Safari Zone, at least in Red, Blue, Yellow, Fire Red, Leaf Green, is Chansey. Chansey was also available on this route. Unfortunately, me and Lucy couldn't quite get it to appear. It's a very, very, very rare encounter here on the route, so you'd have to be running around for genuinely about half an hour to find it if you're very unlucky. We were running around for 20 minutes trying to find it, putting up all kinds of items to try and attract new Pokemon, that kind of stuff, trying to figure out whether the chaining method had anything to do with it. Unfortunately, I don't think it did, despite hints from Richie, the PR manager. I don't actually think it had anything to do with it. So yeah, Chance is another Pokemon that appears here on Route 6, which is quite cool. It's quite cool that you get access to a Pokemon like Chansey. It'll be interesting to see whether Pokemon like Tauros, Kangaskhan, who else is Safari Zone exclusive, Pokemon like that. It'll be interesting to see where they appear in the overworld. Obviously, the Safari Zone has been radically changed in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Instead of it being the traditional Safari Zone that you would have seen in Fire Red, Leaf Green, Red, Blue, Yellow, stuff like that, it has been converted to the Pokemon Go Safari, in that you are able to transfer over your Pokemon from Pokemon Go to the Nintendo Switch titles, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. So they've had to move these different Safari exclusive Pokemon all over the map to accommodate them, which is quite interesting. You get 2,000 Pokédollars from that gentleman, which it's a gentleman, you would get more Pokédollars anyway. I said in my previous Let's Go video that I was a bit worried about Pokeballs and whether we'd have enough. It seems like it has been mitigated. Right now we're going to use a brand new item to the Pokemon main series titles, and that's the lure. Honestly, my opinion of the lure, I don't actually think it really helped anything. Obviously, I'm going to have to wait until next month when the games are released to really see the effects that it has in the overworld. I found that a lot of Pokemon were appearing in the overworld anyway, without the use of the lure. I'm a bit disappointed in its effects. I was hoping using it that Chansey would appear. It just honestly didn't really do anything, if I'm being honest. So that's a complaint, I guess, if a very small one. Yeah, another Pokemon that I forgot to mention that you'll see in just a second, Abra. Abra is also on this route, and it's a really fun Pokemon to try to encounter. You might have seen at the beginning of the episode, Rattata ran into us to actually start the battle itself. You'll see that some Pokemon like Psyduck, Jigglypuff, Vulpix, they try to run away from you rather than actually run into you to encounter you to make your life an absolute misery. Abra actually teleports all over the route, which you're going to see in just a second, Abra appearing. It's actually really cool. I really like it. Eevee, as you can tell, it's got access to all of its elemental attacks. It's Buzzy Buzz. Is that what it's called? I forget what these nonsensically named attacks are actually called. They're just very, very silly names. I like them. They're fine. They're fine. I mean, it's a freaking fantasy game about monsters. Loosen up a little bit if you don't like the names. It's got access to those elemental attacks, which will be interesting to see how early you get access to them. This Eevee is only level 16, I believe, so it's quite early on. I got my Pikachu up to level 12 before we even got to Pewter City, so I want to see. It's also got access to Double Kick, which may or may not be a brand new attack. As you can see, I'm running off here because I saw an Abra, and the lure's effects wore off. The lure only lasted 2 minutes, which is really disappointing. Like in Pokemon Go, you can see which Pokemon are attracted to you by a lure because it will have its little purple outline. I'll try to flash it on screen right now what a lured Pokemon looks like in Pokemon Go. In this, you have no clue which Pokemon is being attracted to you by the lure. So it's a little bit disappointing if I'm being honest. Now, I'm going to showcase the mechanics for capturing Pokemon in co-op play right here, which is really, really cool. You have to throw the Pokeball at exactly the same time. So numerous times throughout this little demo right here, me and Lucy were counting down 3, 2, 1 and then throwing our Pokeballs. We're both using Great Balls here because we didn't want the Abra to teleport away if we failed to catch it. It's moving around, and you're going to see throughout the course of this video, I completely failed my throw right there because I'm just terrible at aiming at Pokemon that move around the screen, and I don't want to blame the Pokeball Plus for that. I'm being hypercritical here because I want to look at it everything in this game with a critical eye, even though honestly really freaking enjoyed these games. I think you guys will really freaking enjoy these games too. I want to just be a little bit nitpicky after playing a demo and be like, hey, this is maybe where you can improve and stuff like that. The Pokeball Plus maybe was a tad inaccurate, or at least I wasn't able to figure out how to correctly position it to get accurate throws on Pokemon that were moving all over the screen. The Pokeball Plus and the Joy-Cons share the exact same kind of technology when it comes to throwing Pokeballs, so it'll be interesting to see if there's any difference between using the two. I just have a lot of issue with throwing my Pokeballs in this game at moving targets. It doesn't seem very accurate to me, but that's my honest thoughts on that. You're going to see numerous times we're going to fail on Jigglypuff, stuff like that. As I was saying, disappointed in the lure module, not the lure module, but the lure that's in this game. The lure module in Pokemon Go obviously attracts Pokemon on Pokestops. The lure is more akin to the incense in Pokemon Go. So, and that has a very deliberate, like, you can see what it's doing in game because the Pokemon will have a certain aura around it. So I'm not sold on the lure. I wouldn't be spending all my Pokédollars on it. I feel like I'd be able to attract all the Pokemon anyway. But you're going to see in this, I mentioned in the last episode, and I mentioned it briefly in this video, that I was a little bit worried about the amount of Pokeballs that you'd get and the amount of Pokédollars you'd get from certain trainers. This trainer battle in particular, if it's not this one, it's the one right next to him, right next to Ricky here. you get like numerous Great Balls for defeating her. So I think my worry is a little bit unfounded, and I think actually playing the game when it's fully out, I will see that it was something to be worried about, but it wasn't anything that in the main game actually is an issue. So we got 76 Pokeballs here. It seems that Pokédollars aren't an actual issue, because this was an account that was played on by one of the employees at the Pokemon Company International. He played up until Route 6 the night before we all arrived to play the demo. So this is someone's actual account, and he speed ran it to get to this position, I guess. And yeah, it seems like there was no issues with the amount of Pokeballs that you'd have, or the amount of Pokédollars we'd have. In fact, I didn't see anywhere in the menu that showcased how many Pokédollars you had, and like your badge case or anything like that. It's probably in the item menu, but I didn't get to see that. Another common question people have been asking me is, if you put your Pokemon into the Pokemon box and then put it back into your party, does it heal up your HP? I wish that was something I tested. It was something that I just totally overlooked on the day. And if I'm going to give you a well-educated guess, I'm going to suggest that yes, it does. Any Pokemon, I was going to say any Pokemon that we caught was at full health, but I forget, you don't actually battle the wild Pokemon, do you? I believe, based on my experience, that Pokemon you put into your Pokemon box and then back into your party are going to be healed back up to full health. So it's going to be a method of cheating in Nuzlocke and whatever, but of course that's going to be how it works. It's your Pokemon like storage. So yeah, that's probably exactly intended. But yeah, another thing I wanted to talk about was these double battles in co-op play, how it's 2 versus 1. I said at the Pokemon Company's offices that I wish they were double battles, like full actual double battles. I feel like making it 2v1 made the battles a little bit too easy, if I'm being 100% honest. But it is something that's supposed to be, you know, like you're playing with your son or your daughter, you want a quick, easy, fun experience with them. That's what it's supposed to be. Co-op play is supposed to just be a fun, quick way to play through the game. So, I don't know. I wish there was maybe an option, maybe a difficulty option, like a way to maybe disable the experience share. Because look, 3 of our Pokemon there leveled up right then. And I know a lot of people are getting worried about the amount of experience you're going to get from battles now, and wild, like capturing wild Pokemon. And I know that people are worried it's going to make the game incredibly easy. But it is Pokemon. It's a game that's targeted towards everyone. So, I don't know. Just play the game however you like. There are ways to challenge yourself. I don't know. You guys might call me a shill for defending that. Maybe way of thinking, but yeah, we capture Vulpix there. We actually get the special throw. If both you and your partner throw the Pokeball at exactly the same time and it hits the Pokemon at the same time, which maybe sounds complicated, but it really isn't, you'll be able to have increased odds of capturing the Pokemon. Sorry, my head was all over the place right then. I saw me miss a Pokeball right then, and I was just like, ugh. You can see us missing Pokeballs. And Great Balls aren't exactly common, and there, we couldn't even get it within the circle then. We were quite lucky to hit that Jigglypuff. I'm gonna have to get used to throwing Pokeballs myself when I'm playing on the TV, like docked. I think in handheld mode, I think it has been confirmed, if you're playing handheld mode, you don't have to do any kind of physical, like, exertion. You're able to just press a button to throw your Pokeball, which is good. You don't want to be sitting on a bus or on a train and you're, like, doing this with a Joy-Con. It would maybe be a little bit embarrassing. But playing docked, I do worry about missing all my Pokeballs and missing all the Pokemon. Missing the Pokeballs on Pokemon that like are floating around the screen. I don't know, but it did feel very seamless when it worked. So I don't know. And like, I do not mind at all in the slightest the like wild encounters now. They don't require you to battle the Pokemon. I think it'd be cool to have an option, maybe. Maybe you could make the Pokemon faint and then start throwing Pokeballs. I think that'd maybe be a like good in between for fans that miss wild Pokemon battles. But honestly, I do think it's an improvement, if I'm being honest. I don't actually mind this method of capturing wild Pokemon, because you can just simply run from it, which I did with wild Pokemon anyway, or you can just try and catch them, which is something I do anyway. I don't know. I feel like I've been all over the place in this video, and quite honestly, of course I freaking am. I got to play 2 hours of this game, like, months before the game even came out. So, I am very excited about these games. I just have a couple of tiny worries that really don't matter that much. It's just, I want these games to be as perfect as possible. This is where I'm going to end off the episode, and this is going to be the last of my 5 little early Let's Go videos. All in all, I am really impressed with these games, and I'm going to be doing a in-depth review of my time on Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, because I've been fortunate enough to play these games numerous times. I will see you guys in that video tomorrow, or maybe the day after. I'm traveling tomorrow. A like would be really appreciated on this video if you have enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in my little in-depth review over the course of the next couple of days. Peace out.